Alrighty.
All right. Well, welcome back to Funnyish.
Funnyish, the podcast. More comedians talking more comedy.
Excellent. I love it. Andrew Snine.
Aaron Martinez.
Yes. Oh, wow. We introduced each other. That's fantastic.
I thought we'd mix it up, you know?
Yeah, we could do that. We're allowed to. Being our show, you can mix it up.
We're like 3 episodes deep at this point.
3 episodes deep. We've already been through 2 other co-hosts.
It's been a long journey.
Yeah, just for this.
Just for us to come back right where we started.
Yeah, for nothing.
To circle right around, baby.
All right.
The
Well,
OGs.
Funnyish, you want to do an open mic rundown?
Yeah, so we're going to do an open mic rundown. If this is the first time you've ever listened to this, which I'm assuming a lot of people, it's going to be your first time listening to this podcast. We do a rundown of all of the open mic comedy shows happening in the city of Atlanta. So currently, the open mic rundown for Monday evenings is Johnny McCracken's and Jimmy Mac's. As usual, both are show Go Up. Tuesday, we have Roll Call, which is a bucket spot show. And then we have Cat's Cafe, which is Show Up, Go Up. We have Noni's, which is a bucket. We have Limerick Junction, which is Show Up, Go Up. Then Wednesday, we have Roll Call again, another bucket. Blue Lagoon, which is Show Up, Go Up. Crown, which is Show Up, Go Up. Smith's, Show Up, Go Up. A lot of Show Up, Go Ups for those. Thursday, we now have Frogger open mic at Joystick Game Bar. Show Up, Go Up. Black House, Show Up, Go Up. Monticello, Show Up, Go Up. And Lion's Den, Show Up, Go Up.
Fantastic.
All right, we just tore through it.
That's a great list. I love it. There's plenty of opportunities out there. Are any mask mandate coming back?
I haven't seen any. It's a lot of like mask suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
They had no one saying that like it's necessary, as far as I know. But I don't know. It's looking like it's going to happen pretty soon.
I know. That's what I'm worried about. I wonder how it'll happen. I mean, I'm sure a couple of these are outside the perimeter. Inside the perimeter one, with the mayor.
Yeah, that's I apparently 48% of Americans are vaccinated right now. I'm vaccinated, and this is a PSA to go get vaccinated.
I'm vaccinated.
The Funnyish podcast, 100% vaccination rate.
Yes, 2 doses in,
and we don't need. I'm 4 technically.
What does that mean?
Because it's 2 shot. Or
oh yeah.
Did you get the 1?
No, I got 2. Oh,
I did also.
Oh.
I got it's 4 shots.
Oh yeah, we have 4 shots on this show together.
So I mean, if you haven't, then you got to step it up a little bit.
So comedy open mics.
Comedy open mics. What's
happened this week?
Boy howdy, has it been a week?
Has it been a week?
It's been a week. Not all of it necessarily. I guess it all is related to open mic. So, I'll just speak for myself. Monday night was an interesting night because I did 2 sets. I went to Jimmy Mac's, which was, it was Jimmy Mac's. It was bad. And then I went to Johnny McCracken's, which was pretty good. It was a pretty good show. But what's interesting is what happened after the show.
Ooh.
So fun, a little bit of drama after the show happened.
Well, do tell.
Myself and 2 comedians are standing outside the show. Mm-hmm. And we're just chatting, having fun.
On the street side?
Just on the street, just like hanging out in front of the bar. And it's like probably close to midnight at this point. Show ended like 30 minutes ago. And we're hanging out, just chatting. And we look over to our left and the door to the bar is flown open. And 2 women just come stumbling out, fall on the ground with each other's hair in their hands, and they're punching each other in the face.
Wow.
So we just are like witness to a street fight happening all of a sudden after this night of merriment and jolly good times. Suddenly now we have a fight. We have a
street brawl,
a rumble, a tussle, if you will.
Yeah. Did they laugh at your jokes earlier?
I'll be honest, I don't think anyone laughed at my jokes earlier, but it's not their fault. I won't blame them for that. I won't even blame the alcohol for that. I don't think that had anything to do with what was going on. So essentially what's happening is these girls, they tumble onto the ground outside the bar on concrete, and they're punching each other, and they both have a guy with them. Mm-hmm. So I presume that one of them's like a friend and the other's like dating the other one. And so the boyfriend, who I presume is the boyfriend, just kind of gets on the ground, starts trying to pull the others away from. The other guy is just standing there smoking a cigarette and just looking at it.
Being
like,
cool.
Just like, man, this is something.
Is this something?
And me and the other 2 comedians are just like, do we? And it was pretty tense for a minute there because one of the girls is on the ground and she's looking at us. She's like, call the police, I'm being assaulted. Those were her exact words.
Oh man. So
and
then
then
you into it.
Yeah. And then the guy was like, he's like, no, you're not being you're fine. Just get up. You're fine. Just let it go. And so I'm so confused at this point. I'm like, do I call the police anyway? Is this guy going to do something wrong? So I have my hand on my phone at this point, and I'm ready to, jump into action.
Crime Stopper.
Yeah, phone man.
Yeah.
Or,
You're a Crime Stopper.
Yeah, 911 guy. That's my superhero name because it's all I can do. And so, but the only thing the three of us can think to do is just walk away.
I think that's respectable.
Yeah, that's all we could think to do. We're walking away. I'm still kind of keeping an eye on it in case I do have to call the cops. Because I'm like, okay, if this gets any worse, I'm going to call the cops. But as we're walking away, we kind of see that, like, it's starting to get broken up. And I'm like, okay, they get separated. Everything's kind of calming down. And then as it's calming down, one of them gets stood up by the boyfriend. And then she, with the other girl on the ground, kicks the other in the face.
Oh, no.
It was with a flip-flop, so it could have been a lot worse. It wasn't like a steel toe contact, but at the same time, it was...
Toenails can be deadly, sharp.
There could get an infection.
Could cut you.
All kinds of things could happen. So yeah, at that point, I was like about ready to call 911. And then we were like, okay, let's all go to our cars real quick. And then we'll circle back around in the car, make sure nothing's going on. We're doing everything to not have to call the police. We are trying everything in our power. We are just procrastinating this phone call for as long as physically possible. And so we drive past, and they're not there anymore. We go to our cars, and they're not even there. So we kind of think, okay, I guess this solved itself, and it was just a little tussle, whatever. And then the next day, we hear from the guy who runs the show, Mellow Black. He said that, like, oh no, the cops got called and they were there later, and we just we were out in the span between when the fight happened and when the cops came. So that was a wild Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, but that's Marietta Square. There's usually cops like walking around.
Yeah, they were around. It's not like it was, it's not that wild to think a cop showed up to a bar fight.
It's outside the perimeter.
Yeah, but and you know what? That's not even that weird of a place for a bar fight to happen. You know what I mean?
No.
So yeah, that was a Marietta evening.
We need some more information on this. If you can get more information for next time.
Yeah, I'll do some digging. I'll do some investigation. And I do know one piece of information, which is that one of them worked at the bar, and one of them was like a manager or a bartender or something. And supposedly, the girl that didn't work there threw a drink at her.
Oh,
and that's how the fight began. So, she was so the manager's trying to throw this girl out of the bar. And she goes, F you, and then throws a drink in her face. And that's how the fight began. So
you didn't know any of this when you saw it.
No, this was all apparently, well, some of it I knew, because one of the other comedians who was standing next to me, he watched it. I didn't see all of it. I tuned in about 20 seconds after him. So I missed the initial interaction. Right. The initial, whatever, the controversy, if you will.
The throw.
Yeah, I missed the throw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to see the touchdown, but I didn't get to see the pass, So that was, as far as that's the information I have currently.
So if you want action, McCracken's, Jimmy Max, there was no drama there.
Jimmy Max, surprisingly, no. There was a lady heckling, which at Jimmy Max you're like, this comes with the territory, you know what I mean? And she was heckling everyone, and it was just bad. It wasn't like, and by the time I went up, she was gone. So I was like, whatever, that's fine. I just bombed like, a normal comedian, you know what I mean?
I did it with dignity,
Yeah.
I went home later and just thought about suicide. Like, oh my goodness, are any of my jokes good?
I ate shit like a gentleman.
Yeah, thank you. That is the way to do it, though.
That's what it was, a James McAvoy, if you will.
Right.
Jimmy Max.
Yeah.
It was a James kind of set,
That's totally honorable. At least you're not one of those comedians that's just like, it's all in the audience. You guys do not get me.
It would help if there had been an audience.
That's why you can't blame them, though.
Right. You're right. I can't blame the empty seats in front of me for not laughing.
You can hear it in your mind,
Right.
Get that practice. Be like, oh, man, they're going on.
They're going crazy right now.
They're laughing for 3 minutes. Did you guys hear that?
That's how little imagination I have, is I couldn't even imagine there was laughs happening. I'm sitting there going like, well, this is just going bad. I'm not even creative enough to imagine I'm doing well. I'm just in the moment being like, well, this is just going to be bad, and that's just what's going to happen.
Just like normal sets I do, just like, this is it. Here we go.
I'm a real reality kind of guy. I like to daydream, if you will.
You got to have bigger dreams, bigger laugh dreams, 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Start
10,
there.
15, that's a long laugh.
It's a long
That's
laugh.
a standing ovation.
Well, yes, it's a quick standing ovation.
See, that's how little I can detach it. And I'm like, 15 seconds? Oh, that's crazy talk. Yeah. A standing ovation, even in my mind, I can't even imagine what that would be like.
It goes by quick. I mean, 5 minutes, on stage goes by so quick.
Yes, that's true.
Unless you have no material, and then you're like, what am I doing?
Then it's the longest 5 minutes. That's like 5 minutes at the dentist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
5 minutes in a waiting room. Any waiting room, you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, this is I feel like I've been here now. Oh, it's been 2 minutes. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
5 minutes in traffic, you're like, is this light ever going to change?
Yeah.
Like, is that light ever going to turn? Get me
that's
off.
Bombing 5 minutes and traffic 5 minutes are pretty equal 5 minutes in my opinion.
And everyone hates you.
Yeah, they're not into it at all. Either way, no one's really into it.
You did a wrong turn. You did something wrong in traffic, and everyone just hates you, and they're looking at you. Same on stage.
Even if you didn't do anything wrong, people are just upset at your existence. The fact that you exist in front of them right that second, people are like, well, can you just like not exist for 20 minutes so I can just get to work and then you can come back? Yeah. And they want to Thanos snap you away for a while. So you can come back and then be like, all right, you can come back now.
You can come now. I'm done.
Yeah, you can go ruin someone else's day.
Well, that's very fantastic. Any other drama the rest of the week?
Yes. Well, I don't know. I hesitate to call it drama because this wasn't a real life event. But the very next night, I had a set at the Laughing Skull. Mm-hmm. I would say top 2 shows in Atlanta, in my opinion. If you're an open micer, it's like, I guess open mics, it's the number one. That's like the best one.
You mean top 2 shows like you were at your peak game?
No, like quality of...
Oh, right.
The quality of the show is the best.
And of course, you have to email the email address.
Yeah, it's like openmic@laughingskull.com or whatever.
And it takes, like a month or 2 months?
Yeah, there's like a month gap in between typically. And so this was like my month that I got. So the 20th was my spot. So that was last Tuesday. So the very next day. So I go up. I have a pretty good set, I would say. Generally, it was pretty good. And so what happens is
you can pay for a video, right?
I could have. However, shout out to Ngozi because I mean this guy because he brings his camera to all of his shows. So he's like he always has a camera with him, his DSLR camera, and so he's always filming himself. And so he was very kind to. I think he filmed some other people also. So he just was there filming, and he just sent it to me. He just sent me my set.
That's great. Open micers, though, you can, once you sign up, was it $15 to get a tape?
It's $20 now. That's where I made the mistake, because I was going to just pay for the set from them, and then I showed up, and they were like, it's $20, and I was like, oh, I have 15. And
I remember it was 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gone up. They realize how important those sets are.
Post-pandemic.
The videos.
Oh, yeah. Well, you want that skull in your background when you submit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you want to have the skull as your profile picture on Facebook. I mean, we all do. It's so...
All right. You did your set.
So I did my set. I got it recorded. And I was like, oh, this is a pretty good video. And so what I did was I was like, this is 4 minutes of solid jokes. I didn't really do much crowd work. I didn't do a whole lot of riffing. It was just joke. I thought this is good enough for a festival submission. Mm-hmm. So if you're new and you're listening, basically the step, I would say the step after local booked comedian, it goes open micer, then locally booked. The next step is festival, mm-hmm. I think, is to do a comedy festival of any kind, so local festival. So I'm like, okay. And for those, what you do is you pay, say, $30 or $10, $15, whatever they charge, and then you send them a video, and then maybe they'll let you in. And if they let you in, then you travel to a city and do like 4 shows in a weekend, and you just sort of do these little showcases and network around. And so it's like it's supposed to be just a fun way to meet people from other cities and stuff. So that was the plan. I was like, okay, and this video, I thought, okay, maybe this video is good enough for a submission tape. Maybe they might let me in if I submit this video. And boy, was I wrong. I thought I could use some advice, and I posted the video onto r/standup on Reddit. And I thought, okay, there are some people in this subreddit that are very knowledgeable. They know a lot about, people who've been doing it longer than me. So I thought maybe they might have some good advice. I thought, okay, I'll post this thing. Maybe 10 people might give me feedback. 60 comments later.
Wow.
And 190 upvotes later, which I'm pretty proud of. I think that's pretty
good.
Not bad. And 94% vote rate. So most people liked it. I would say generally the feedback was pretty good. But there were some people that were not super cool about it. Some people were like, were not into it. My favorite was, I'm glad you're getting out there, but both of your openers. So I do a joke where I say I look like Harry Potter if he went to public wizarding school. And then my next one is how I'm half Colombian because my dad's from Columbus, Georgia. Those are my 2 opening jokes. Right. Pretty, like standard like joke structure, I guess, but it does work. You know what I mean? It's
Get some laughs.
It's hacky, but I'm like, this works every time, so I guess I'll do it. So he goes, discount Harry Potter and I'm Colombian have been done to death for the last 20 years. Your other jokes seem low effort for a 4-year alum. My girlfriend gives you a D-. She didn't laugh once. I give you a C- as it was an average set on an off night with stale jokes. I might be in the minority here, so don't put too much stock in my opinion. I do like your stage presence. You look comfortable on the island. So he ended with a little, like, it was still negative, but and then he put an edit, and he said, she says she would change it to a D+ if she knew I was posting it on the internet. So I went from a D- to a D+ in her eyes.
Just because it was public facing.
Yeah, and then he said, you really need to look at all of these things, not for what gets the quickest laugh, but what gets the strongest laugh. We need a fresh, original take on all the jokes. If it's a joke I've heard before, there had better be a compelling and original spin on it. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So...
And then, of course, you Reddit stalked this guy, and so you looked at his profile.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And he's into anime?
Probably. I'll be honest, I didn't do that. I just was upset, and I won't say his name, obviously, but so yeah. And then there's a thread that goes on for a long time of people actually coming to my defense and people saying that wasn't that bad. It was fine. It wasn't a C-. And people kind of saying like, I don't know if that's totally true, and people making fun of the guy. And so people were nice to me generally. Like a lot of people were saying things like someone just commented funny. Some people said, I laughed at like half of the jokes. Keep doing your thing. Minecraft joke I have a joke about Minecraft. He said that one was very good. That was my favorite. Someone said, I liked it. Your pacing could use some work. Just leave silences. Also tone and emphasis, all that stuff. Yeah. And like, generally speaking, the feedback I got was your joke writing is good. Most of your jokes are good. Maybe take out the things at the beginning and then just slow down. So I think I have the issue a lot of comedians have, which is I speak too fast. I speak too fast anyway.
Do you agree with them? Do you think that's what you need to work on?
The slow I didn't think so until I read this, but that is the one big takeaway I took away from this was I was like, oh, like it was literally like 15 people were like, you just need to slow down. So I went, okay, that's enough people to maybe work on that. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's true now.
Yeah. If it was 1, even 2 people out of 60, I'd be like, I don't know. I think it's fine. But
how many times did you check your Reddit?
Oh, I had to turn it off. I would keep I didn't even look at it that often. I was like every 2 hours I'd look at it, and then I took a nap because I had a day off, and I opened it up and it had I'd never seen so many notifications. It literally had like 30 notifications.
So-and-so commented, so-and-so replied.
Right. And it was just like
10 upvotes.
Yeah. 50 up. And I was like, all right, I had to turn my notifications off. And I was reading some of the comments that were particularly upsetting. And I went, I'm just going to not look at this for a while. And my fear was that people who are in the scene would see it.
Yeah.
Because you had seen it and you
Yeah.
commented something very nice. You roasted me and were like, nice set, even though you look like a cop or whatever. And then like, I think one other comedian, Billy Willig, he commented and said like, this is a great set. I'd book you. And I was like, oh, cool.
Book them now.
Yeah, book me on
That's a
whatever
cop
you
joke.
have. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I didn't even catch that. That's how gullible I am. I was just like,
Yes, book me.
he's just being supportive. He's not
Cop
just
joke. Undercover cop.
He's not making fun of me. He's just being supportive and yes and it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was one. Okay, so I have a joke where the setup is, as you can probably tell when I walked up on the stage, I'm an athlete because I'm small, and they wrote grown. I think about 50% of the set is solid, 50% is hacky. So that one hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And the frustration I have with that one in particular was that they didn't actually think about what the rest of the joke was. The joke is about how I tried to be an athlete and failed and am now an artist.
Yeah.
And how I failed being an athlete and how that led me into, I think it's a more nuanced bit than they're making it sound.
Yeah.
And that was the one I was like, I kind of took that one like.
A lot of people hear the same setup and they stop listening.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I guess get rid of that. I mean, it's also a comedian who said, because the thing is, when I say it, it gets a laugh from the crowd. People like it, but comedians are a little bit more harsh about something like that.
Of course. But if you're a comedian, if you've gone to so many open mics, everything sounds hacky because you're like, yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah, you've heard the way that almost anyone says anything by this point in a set, Every structure of joke that that exists is, you've probably heard it in some way or shape or form.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because like, who was it? Brian posted his joke a couple weeks ago on Reddit, and it was about the Olympics and the woman smoking weed and being disqualified.
It was about Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah, whoever it was, I forget her name, but
the sprinter.
Yeah, but like someone was like, Robin Williams did this joke.
Like you're supposed to know that, like.
And he was like, okay, I just looked at the joke. I didn't realize it. Same setup, different punchline.
Right.
And finally the guy was like, okay, I get that. I just heard the initial line and got really defensive. And I was like, listen to the whole joke.
Right. And that's how I felt about that, was I was like, if you actually listen to this joke, it's a kind of nuanced and like, it's at least, it takes a turn and it's not exactly what you're thinking. And I think it's pretty unique to me that I wanted to be an athlete so bad, but couldn't because of my own physical limitations. So now I'm just stuck being an artist, even though that wasn't my first choice. You know what I mean? And
Are there sports for smaller people?
Horse racing. The only one I think of.
You got to be too big for that, though.
I don't know. I think I'm about right for that.
Really? All right. Let's look into jockey.
Yeah, that'll be their homework for next week.
So that's the one.
Yeah. Oh, gymnastics. I did gymnastics when I was a kid. That is
gymnastics.
That's one that if you're small, it helps a little bit. I'm perfect. That's another one where I'm like, I'm right in the wheelhouse for gymnastics. Oh. But I'm afraid of heights, and that's because that's a fun fact about me that I think most people don't know, is that when I was a kid, I was like 9, and
you're usually a kid when you're 9.
Yeah, I was a 9-year-old lawyer.
Adult. Yeah,
I was a 9-year-old cop.
Now it's interesting.
Yeah. That's like the sequel to Boss Baby.
Oh yeah,
is Boss
lawyer
cop?
Yeah, lawyer kid.
Boss lawyer child. So that was, but when I was a 9-year-old child, I didn't know this, but like my parents told me a few years after it happened, that apparently some people who are in the U.S. like Junior Olympic like organization, they were like, you should be a junior Olympian or something for gymnastics.
You were that good.
I was pretty good. I like my highest score. So the way gymnastics works is it's on your routine.
Yeah.
Like when you see someone doing like the flip off the vault and stuff, it's on a scale of, at least it used to be on a scale of 1 to 10. Mm-hmm. So my highest score ever was a 9.875.
It's pretty high.
Almost a 10.
Yeah.
Almost perfect.
I don't know numbers, but I know that's pretty high.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was good at it, but and that was on the rings. That was like the still rings. But then I progressed to a point where like where you get on the bar and then you have to fling yourself around it all the way around.
Yeah.
Like you know how when you're a kid you're like, oh, how funny would it be if we swung all the way around?
Yeah.
You know?
You do the roll. It's a barrel roll on top of like at the jungle gym. What is it?
No, I don't think it's physically possible to do it on a swing, but like kids are always like, oh, let's swing ourselves all the way around the bar.
Yeah.
You know, and the goal is to get like perpendicular to the bar. But in gymnastics, you can actually physically do that if you're just hanging by the bar, you can fling yourself around all the way around. And I was too scared to do it. I was like afraid of heights and I didn't want to fall. And so after that, I was like, and they have, and the way they train you to, I don't know if this isn't comedy related, obviously, but they
material, right?
But what they do is they strap you in and they have these little grips. They strap your hands on the bar so you literally can't fall off. Even if you let go, you'll stay on the bar and you won't fall off. And I'm still like,
it's like they're like floaties.
I was like, that's scarier.
Yeah.
That I can't let go.
Yeah, like you're just like,
that's even worse. I just like I want to be on the ground. I don't want to be stuck up here.
Wow. So 9.875.
Yeah, that was like my highest score that I ever got.
Do you ever like wake up in the middle of the night like I'll never be as good comedian as a gymnast?
I'll be honest with you. I do think sometimes I'm like, maybe I should have. Although I've seen the direction that gymnastics has gone since then, and I'm like, I'm not Simone Biles. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. No one's gonna be like, I'm not gonna have sponsorships from.
Yeah. Do you ever think about like maybe you'll shave your man beard and just be like, oh, I'll re-enroll in high school and like do
just give it another try at it. I'm just not in shape anymore. That's the thing is like the first thing to go is you have to be flexible. That's another thing is you have to stretch and be like be able to do the splits. That's one thing is like you have to be able to do this. You have to be able to do splits to be able to do some of the exercises. And as soon as I stopped doing it, I could not do that anymore. I could barely do it to begin with. And I'm just not a flexible person. I can't touch my toes anymore. so that went away very quickly. But I can still jump and do like I used to be able to do.
You can still jump. That's good.
Yeah, I could jump. I can jump and I can run and okay. I think I fixed it.
I can jump and run.
I got really excited that I could still jump.
That's a lot more than some comedians. Some comedians cannot run or jump.
Yeah, I can. At least I can. You know, I don't have to sit on the stool when I get on stage.
Yeah, you get up and you're already tired. You're like, ooh,
it's been a long walk.
It's been a long week.
It's been a long set. What has it been? 30 seconds.
You don't have a handkerchief and you're just like pouring sweat.
Like Louis Anderson.
Did Ralphie May do that a lot?
Probably.
Or did he just wipe it off? Like,
Yeah, I'm a slight person still, so at least I don't have to. I'm not overweight. At least I didn't fully go.
Do you recommend people post their stuff on Reddit?
I actually, I'll be honest. You gotta be prepared to
be bashed.
To be bashed and be bashed more than you think.
Yeah.
Because I expect this to go viral and I expect people not to like it. Mm-hmm. That's my advice to people. It's because I posted this thinking no one's gonna see this. And then a lot of people saw it, and a lot of people did not care for it.
Yeah. I see a lot of people doing, this is my first set, give me feedback.
Oh, those get ignored. People don't watch those. But people saw a 4-year comic and were like, oh, I better watch this.
They see that. They see the skull. They see it's not just on a phone.
Yeah, it was like a real video at a real club.
It was vertical or horizontal?
It was horizontal. It was a 4:3 or what's 16
by 9
aspect ratio. They were like, oh, this is like a real video.
Yeah.
Which is good, but you better make sure that the material's solid first. Mm-hmm. And the material was, I'll be honest, part of me was like, maybe I should quit and just be a writer. Because everyone was like, the joke writing's great, but you are not good at telling it. Actually, no, that wasn't the case either. Everyone just said I go too fast.
Yeah.
And you can even tell right now I talk fast.
Do you need me to laugh like after everything you say? Will that help you out?
I don't think it would because that was another issue was that everyone said that like you're stepping over the laughs. So I waited. You see I waited there? I'm learning.
Well, this has been funny-ish.
an exciting episode of Funny-ish.
I think we should continue talking about gymnastics and Reddit next time.
I feel like I hogged the airwaves or whatever.
No, people want to know about this.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we had such a productive week.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening to the Funny-ish podcast. Make sure to follow us on all the social media.
Especially Reddit. Upvote.
Yeah, definitely follow me on Reddit. I will probably post the link to that video in this thread in the description of this video.
So they can watch it and be like, oh.
And be like, oh yeah, you deserve that.
Yeah, you deserve D-. Come on, man.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Bye.